Hey everybody, it's Barbie from Nellie and Ruth Designs, and today we're going to try to finish up. I think we'll be able to finish up the little ephemera pocket folder that I started with everybody. So first, thanks for joining in. Thanks for subscribing, all your wonderful comments, and let's get to this. So I did pull. I'm going to try. We're going to be cinching this, and I'm going to try to use the. I think this is 1¼ inch binding that I pulled. This, yeah, 1¼ inch binding. We're going to be. I'm going to be putting this on the book itself. So I'm going to set this aside for now. And I did go ahead and I did finish up. Let's move this mat here. I did finish quite a bit of stuff off of camera because it was tedious and it was just time consuming, and I didn't need to take up your time with that. But let me show you what I did end up doing. In the last video, this side here was not, we had talked about, I had spoke about possibly punching it first and then tacking it down. And I explained where when I run my tape along here, it's actually, I think, buggered up my cinch where it just makes it very hard to press down and punch the holes now. So I had left these open, but what I decided to do was run a small bead of glue. And I used the art glitter glue on the side here. So I just ran a small bead along here, and then I sealed all of these right down. So I did go ahead and I attached the file folder, the little tags here, flip tags is what I call them. And I added some more of Mrs. Cog's beach sayings here. So we'll flip through these. And I did find some lovely flowers that I had cut from a vintage catalog. And I just attached those. I tried to color coordinate. This here, the Making Waves. And these are all part of the Utopia Authentique paper pad, the 12 by 12 pad that I had showed in my last video. And I had also spoke about filling each pocket with a little note, folder note card. And I decided not to do it because I didn't want to add the bulk. So what I did was I did one per page. So I have this one here, Paradise, Any Port in a Storm. I have that for the first page here. And then this is the one I believe we did in my last batch. We have Miss You in this one. And then because we had the hibiscus here on the flowers, I just added the Swim with the Tide label. This is the little card journaling card holder folder for this one. And then I added Life's a Beach. And then here's our, I believe I did this one as well, the Hang Loose, Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. So that goes in here. And I had this very pretty fussy cut flower here I added. And the same with the back. This is the other one that I made, the Coconut Big Island flavor, A Drop in the Ocean. Because every now and then a coconut does drop in the ocean. So the other thing I do want to remind you of when you're making your ephemera holder is you have to be mindful that this side here is where you're going to punch the holes. So try not to bring your little ephemera pieces over. Move them more towards, I would call it this, I'm only calling it the center because this was the center of your paper. but shift it away, shift everything away from where it's going to be punched. Obviously, on this one here, oh no, this is good. This will not be punched at all. So you'll see. Once we punch them, you'll see. So I'm going to set these aside. And I also went ahead and I made, this is the front cover and this is the back cover. I decided to do it in black. There's a couple different ways you can keep a square front cover. My other ones, I did have a rounded corner on each side. I'll show you those. You can round them if you like. This one, I am not going to do that. I'm going to keep a square. And the round, it just gives it a little softer look. But the round, when I do these, I use my We Are Memory Keepers, and I use the 1/2 inch punch. So if you were to round your corners, you would just take your punch and you would adhere it, punch it in, and punch, punch, punch. It is a little tough on your wrist because this is, you know, sturdy cardboard. I just don't want to do that with this one. I do want to keep it a square cover. And then these are the insides. So this is the front inside, this is the back inside. And this is the master board, the small master board that I made. I had explained how I had made a mistake with 3 of the pocket folders and I tore them apart. And I decided, instead of, you don't want to ever throw away your paper, I made a collage board. And this is going to be the inside front. So I think that'll be quite nice. So when you open it up, you'll see this. And then in the back, what I did for the back cover, I just went ahead and I made a pocket here. I just took another piece of it. I don't have, I think I'd have just a little tiny, I have just this little tiny piece left over from it. I could always make a tag. But this will be a nice back pocket to put whatever you want in it. You're not going to be, if you know, when you do it like this, if you do create a master board, you're not going to be able to put a lot in here. You can probably put, because it is a tight squeeze, you could probably put maybe 3 or 4 if you wanted to store a few tags. There's 2 tags, and these are all backed with a file folder. So, you know, I guess you can store, you could be able to put quite a few items in here with no problem. You can at least put 4 nice tags in the back. So what I'm going to do is, while I have this open, I'm going to finish the inside of this. I had found her. I really like this here. So I'm just going to finish this area here while I have you with me. And I'm just getting my little, and I just wanted to design the back and the front off camera, solo, just by myself, because I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't want to waste your time. I didn't want to be on here hemming and hawing and just trying to figure out, you know, exactly what I wanted to do. So I'm going to place her here, and I think I've been dying to use this slide film, but I don't think I'm going to, because it'll just add a little bit of bulk. But I think what I will do is I'm going to finish off, I'm going to, if I can find a long enough piece, just add a little, you can use this one, just a little pizzazz at the top here. So, and it doesn't even really have to be perfectly square on each side. So I'm going to finish it off here. And I hope everyone is having a great day. It's a Monday here for me. I'm not sure when this is going to air because I have a few other things, a few other videos ahead of this one. But it's a Monday here, and it's just really, really, really pretty day outside today. Tomorrow, I'm taking my daughter-in-law to for a nice hike. I'm just squaring this up because this was a piece that I had taken off of the front cover, and I'll explain what I did there. But I just want to square this up on top. So this does lay horizontally with the top here. So yeah, so we're going to go for a nice hike tomorrow. It's supposed to be in the mid 40s, which is a real heat wave here where I am in the mountains. So and I forgot how fun these were to make. And I really do hope everyone tries this. I'm going to try. If I say it out loud, I have to do it. That's one thing with me. If I say it out loud, I have to do it. I'm going to try to make a few of these and put them in the shop, in my shop. Because I know everybody doesn't have a cinch machine, and they don't have this paper. And so I thought I'd try to make at least one to put in the shop, so in case someone was interested in buying it, having it for themselves. And then after that, I have to think about what I'm going to do next. I have to finish my blue and white journal. I have to do that. So I think maybe I'll just continue to work on that. And then I have a really special project that I want to make for my girlfriend for her birthday. It's part of her birthday and Christmas present. So maybe I can work on that a little bit, show you what I'm doing there. All right, so there's the back cover. We're going to flip these over, and we're going to put this, set this over here. And then the front cover here, I had originally shown you, this paper here was a square 8 by 6.5 piece. And I decided that I just wanted a little oomph to it. I just didn't like, I wanted to use this Bathing Beauty here, but it was just blah to me. I did want to do a little sewing, but again, I had to be mindful that it's going to be punched here, so I couldn't sew around it. And I just really had to think about what I wanted to do. Then I wanted to add a little more oomph to the top of this. And then still it was, a full-size sheet. And then when I still had this on here, it was like, I tried using, some different ephemera around here. I didn't like it. So what I decided to do was I just started ripping and tearing. And I got it down. I wanted to use the black front to the cover to match the back. And like I said, I just started ripping and tearing, and I came up with this, which I really like. And then I'm going to use this saying here. I figured as long as we had sayings in the journal throughout, I wanted to put one on the front as well. So I thought this changing tide was going to be would be nice. So I'm going to wait to put this on until after I punch the holes in it that way, because I would like to bring this over as far as I could. And what I don't want to happen is have me place it here, and then when I punch, it's going to bugger this up. So I'm just going to wait on that, and I'm going to punch this first. So let me get my, and I am a little nervous about this because it's been quite a while since I have used my cinch. So if you do make a mistake after you've made your cover and everything else, it's not pretty. So, you know, mine is very, very hard to use. I will punch this, and then what I will do is I will show you how to punch, how you pull your pegs on here, what you have to do, how you have to move your slide bar out here, and then I'm going to disappear for a few minutes, get everything else punched, and then I will come back, and then we will finish decorating the front cover. So the first thing you have to make sure when you're working with your cinch and before you punch, you just have to make sure that your all your papers are all lined up. I'm going to take these out. I'm going to take all of these out because I do not want these getting caught or sliding in there. So we'll pop these out. And we will do the front. I'll do the front cover first. So when you use your cinch, you have to make sure that everything it's up in here tight. When I've used mine in the past, for some reason, all my little knobs hadn't been punched in. You know, maybe there was one down, and there's like a little lip here. You have to make sure it gets in all the way, because if you don't, I have actually punched where I've had, you know, perfect holes here, and then it's trailed off and the holes are off of the page, and I've ruined the front cover. So once you get it in there and you get it tight and it's up against here, you're just going to take it. And like I said, mine is very hard to push down. I have to use two hands. And I think that is because all of the tape that I have used in the past, it's gotten stuck in here. And okay, so there's one set. Now, in order to, let me get a paper here so you can see through. Here's the holes. Now you have to finish punching up on top here. So, and this is what's important. So you pull your slide bar out. You have to pull your slide bar out over here all the way. And then you line your paper or your cover back up. Now, I don't know if you can see it. There's a tab right here. And you have to take that tab and you have to press it down so it actually locks in to the hole there. All right? That's very important. Then when you punch, you have to look at your paper here. I'm going to put this here so you can kind of see. This is where the top of the cover ends. So this number 4, you're going to want to keep 1, 2, 3 in. Number 4, 5, and 6, you don't have to do the rest. You can do the rest if you want. You pull all of these out, because if you were to keep 4 in, it would make a small little, I call it a divot, but a small little mark there. So it's very important. This here locks the hole in there, and then these here will punch. Call from wireless NY. and I don't know who that is, probably a spam. You'll keep these in and it will punch your remaining holes that you need. And again, you want to make sure that that's up tight. And then you release this here, and then your top comes right out. So there is the top cover. So I am going to step away for a minute. I'm going to get everything else punched. We'll finish the front cover, and then we'll get it all bound together. All right, I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and it was quite an adventure when I left. Everything seized up on my cinch. I couldn't pull these out. I could not push them in. So I took it down into my laundry room and I dismantled what I could. There's not a lot that you can do with this. And I just went to town and used some WD-40 on it. I found all the strategic spots. I sprayed all around, and it's very easy to use again. It's up and down, up and down. So, but then I had to, if you have problems with your cinch and it does seize up on you and you can't, you saw me before doing two hands and it gets stuck. I'm not going to tell you to use WD-40 because I don't want to advise anyone on how to lubricate or clean their machine. I don't want to be liable for that, but I used it on mine. I took a chance and it worked out really good. But the only thing I had to do was this little area right here, there was a little bit more oil. So if you do decide on your own to do that, just make sure you punch with with scrap paper, and make sure that after you've punched, that there's no residue of oil or anything like that. So it's all good now. So we'll continue on. And I'm glad that, it did give me trouble because it has for a long time. And I was a little leery about doing what I did to it, but I'm glad that I did. It's like new again. So I did leave this last one. I wanted to show you because, like I said, it's been a while since I've made these and things are coming back to me. So again, when you punch your sheets, make sure that they're tightly in there. They're pushed up. You have your corner here, and all of your 1 through 12 are down. You can make your punch. Now, on the cover, because the cover is a little bit taller, we have an extra hole. So on these, you have to be careful when you go and you do your final punch on here. You're going to stick it in, line it up again with this knob here. Get that in there so it doesn't move. Hold on to it. Just remember, you have to be very careful. On the cover, we left the first 3 in, but you don't do that with your inner pages, your pocket pages. You only do 2 because when you punch, your final hole is going to line up right along here. So you only leave the 2 down there. All right. Okay. So we are going to put this cinch away for now. And let us clean this up here. And I have to turn my other light on. There we go. It's getting a little dark here now. And my light gives me trouble here. This one doesn't stay. I need a new desktop light other than my bright light city lights. Okay, so these are all done. And we are going to finish the front cover before we cinch it together. And you will also see that, don't worry here when you have your, the way these are scored and folded, you will have on some of them a half It's just going to meet. It's not going to, compromise the integrity of the pages. So that's one thing that you should be aware of. And again, this cover, you will notice that, and this is very important, before you cinch this, and I guess before we go any further, you do have to make a minor adjustment. That's why when you make this, these are really fun to make, but they are detail oriented. When you have your page that is a little bit taller, okay, it does line up quite nicely here. However, you're going to see that this part here covers just a little tiny bit of this hole. You're going to need to trim that, because if you don't, when you put your binding in, this will get caught a little bit. All right, so you want this to be a smooth transition when you flip your pages. So all I do is just take a little tiny bit off the top here, and then I just go back, I just put it back on here. I always leave the top one, and now you have room there too that will not get caught on that top binding wire. So that's important. There have been, when I first started making these, the gal that made them, she did not mention that in her tutorial, and when I made it and I bound it together, it was tough to flip. So you want to take just a little tiny bit off, and then again, before you bind it, you can just put it, you can put these back on. I'm going to do it down here and just make sure that it does. See, this one is just a little tiny bit, so I can take just a tad more off. You don't want to take a lot off. You just want to shave a little bit off. All right, so we'll stick with that for now. And then how you bind this, well, let's finish the front cover first. This is the front, this is the back. We're going to put all of these over here. All right, let's get this front attached. So now you can actually see where is a good place to finish designing the front. So if I had, say if I had put this here like that, and I had put my changing tides here, we would have had holes right here. So that's why I suggest that you finish your front cover after you punch your holes. All right, so we're going to get this on here like this, and I'm going to run some glue, or tape I mean, and then I will glue around the outside. So I am finding that when I do make, when I am recording and making these videos, that not all goes as planned. I just kind of fill in between the glued, the tape runner areas as well. And make sure that you have the right side up on the back. The last thing you want to do is have it like this. I guess because of these here, I guess it doesn't matter. And that's another reason why you should do your front cover after you punch it, because you're not going to put the front cover with the punches on this side, because that's not how the binding's going to go. And you could very easily make that mistake if you hadn't punched it yet. I have 2 paddles, and do you think I can find what I did with them to lift my items? Probably over here, buried to my right underneath. All my papers. Okay, so we have the front cover done, and we are ready to bind it. So I've already cut my cinch binding metal, and it's the appropriate size. And this is the tool that you use. This has the metal cutter here, and then these are the crimpers for afterwards, because you're going to want to just turn these in a little bit. So I'm going to grab all of my pages here. I have my front and back cover. I'm going to go over to my cinch station, because I have a nice, I can work a little bit better there, because I really want this to come out nicely. So what I suggest you do, if you're new to the cinch, go right to the YouTube channel for We Are Memory Keepers, and they give a whole tutorial and instructions as to how to actually use the machine. So let me go now, and I will get this all binded together, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have it all bound. And the one thing that I have a hard time with is getting and I still haven't mastered it, but getting the binding wire perfectly round. This side isn't too bad. This side here, you can see where it gets in the machine when you push the handle down. There is an art to it. I haven't mastered it yet. I do like the this type of binding. However, I think if you're a little leery about, using this type of binding wire, go ahead and make your purchase of the spiral binding, because these you can just feed through. They're nice and round. I don't know if these come in the 1 1/4 inch size. This one here, I think I've only been able to find the 1 inch. So I prefer this, but on this one here, I just thought I'd give it a go and use it on this one. And the way that the cinch works is it has a connecting interlocking system in the back, so the pages and I just seem to, so they don't come out, slide out, but I just seem, after I do cinch it, I seem to play a lot and make sure. So it's a good little machine to have on hand. If I were to, I don't know, I'm not even going to rate it. I do like it, but I just do not prefer this style binding wire. So yeah, so it's all put together, and I think what I'm going to use this particular ephemera holder for is I have a lot of pages that I have taken. Here's some postcards. Here are my stamped words that I use, and I just have them thrown over in a drawer. And sometimes I can, I know what drawer they're in. Sometimes I can't find them. I'll throw other things on them. So I think I'm going to use this holder to house and store these items here. So, and then I can use, especially if I put, larger pieces in here from, say, like a botanical book or whatever, I can write in here what I have inside here. So for now, I'm just going to fill this up a little bit, and I'm going to put my smaller, I guess this is all money that I have cut to use. So this came from an old vintage book. So I'm going to put this over on this side. I'll put those in there. And then these came from a book on lettering. So I think I will split some of these up. These are all lettering, poster, lettering, blank paper. Let's just get this. I'll do my blank pages. I still have to trim these and cut these down. I thought just that these would be a lot of fun using these in some sort of way. Just get all okay, these are ads. Put those over there. Lettering. Oh, I got a cut on my finger. It's not feeling too well. So I think I'm going to flip these over and put these on this side. Then these I can tuck right inside here. And this is why I like having this cover a little bit larger, because these pages, even if I leave them up a little bit, they'll be somewhat protected. I think these I will put in here. And then all of these here, I think I'll put her over there. I'm going to put these on this side. And then I'm going to put my stamped words in front here. Okay. I'm going to put them over here, right in front. So we have those there. And then I'm not going to put all of these postcards in there, only my miscellaneous ones that I have. I'm going to keep all my fairy postcards together and put them back in my drawer. I do know right where those are. But these little guys have kind of gotten lost. So I'm going to put, I think I'll organize these. These are so pretty. I don't remember where I got these. I'm not sure. I don't know if I picked these up when I was in Italy. I don't think so. These are all Abby's. I don't know where they came from. They're pretty. I love these little bunnies, all the little woodland animals. So I'm going to keep all of those together. I actually forgot I had these. Here's another fairy. She goes over there. And here's more of these. So we're going to put these I'm actually going to put these right inside here. These will fit nicely in there. I'm going to move my little coconut. I'm going to keep all the somewhat religious ones together. Here are some others of, this is the Flatiron Building in New York. Yep, Flatiron Building, New York City. This is the Brooklyn Bridge. So I'll keep on, there's the Chrysler Building. So I'm going to keep all of my city pictures here. And then all my little woodland, I'm going to put in the back here. And then as I find more, and you can see this holds quite a few items. And the reason that I use this, even though I find it difficult for myself to use, you may find it much easier. The larger binder allows you to put more inside. And like I said, I still have some interior pockets that I can use. This one, I have this side pocket. So these do hold quite a bit. So yeah, I hope I inspired you to create one of these cute little, I call them pocket folders, ephemera packs. And because they do hold a lot, they're fun to make. You can make them as colorful as you want. There's so many different themes that you could make: botanical, nautical, just a beautiful nature one. So there you have it. This wraps up the three-part? I think this was a three-part series on creating this. And I thank you for joining in. I thank you for subscribing, and have a glorious day. And I'll see you in my next video. Okay, everybody. Thanks. Bye-bye.